the business is really just about people keeping their jobs. Like that's the main goal of the business is like, let's not ruin what's there. Television business is a really good business, and it's still working really well, for them, and they're doing adventuresome stuff. The quality of television certainly has gotten better over the last 10 years.
But more and more people aren't watching television on a television. They're watching it
but they're still,
on their pad and on their phone.
But it doesn't, they're still watching.
It's getting smaller and smaller.
Right, but they're still watching the content.
But what I think that I see that's exciting to me about that is kind of I feel like we are at the end of the feature film form dominance. That as the primary business model, has kind of dissolved, and the benefit. Excuse me?
It's the Cretaceous period.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's very dinosaur.
Yeah, and as a result, if we can start to move things where, filmmakers as a whole embrace themselves as, creative individuals, not defined by the dictates of the feature film form, they also have much more potential to start to, essentially become a brand unto themselves, like the way bands are. When Radiohead wants to do something that is off the norm of what they do, their fans are willing to accept it because they've got enough seeding of it along the way. But it's really hard when everything is, ruled by the 90-minute story. Like, that's where people keep coming back. But if they keep coming back to the artist can say, well, now I'm going to do a documentary on my hometown, and you see, that's what's so exciting to me about the shorts that preceded Collaborated Tonight. One is made in 1 day, one is made in 3 days, and they're about the world we're living in, and there's no reason why the top filmmakers can't be doing that stuff too, and connecting with their local audience and expanding what their palette is. So that when they want to experiment, people don't go, whoa, that's so different. They say, oh, it's like that thing you did last week, about Madison,
And that's kind of what I was saying last night, that, that filmmakers, that it's a liberating thing, I think, for filmmakers to get beyond the 90-minute form, the short form, which is now like the 12-minute form, because that's what film festivals program is, 12 and under, and then the 30-minute, the 22 and 44-minute form of television. That there's basically 4 forms that have kind of developed over the years, and now there's all different kinds of forms, like even beyond just the structure of the feature film, that, like create series or create different kinds of content, and it's just that to think of yourself as content creators and not, certainly not feature filmmakers.
And may I comment? For the last 2 days, I've heard that actually, I think, and this was left out, but it's a filmmaker's responsibility to take advantage of the actual resources that are now available to get out of trouble, to get into a way that leads to direct distribution, if you will. I would like to call it that, because that's the empowering part of this. It's like getting out of these conventions. So.
Right.
It's exciting and it's intimidating.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wrote this post trying to look at all the different opportunities that are available for filmmakers, and the post was entitled, 27 new platforms, and it's now 34 new platforms. I didn't change the title so that people keep searching for it, and it doesn't include the new YouTube storefront, that was announced 2 days ago. As another thing. And these things, there's 145 different places that essentially you have access to here in America to distribute your work. It's tremendous, but that is going to take you 4 years to we don't have, eventually, like in other aspects of the web, the integration of different opportunities becomes a business itself,
right.
And somebody is going to make it very easy to help you, do that, but we're not quite there yet.
Actually something you guys want to do. So that's actually what they're kind of in the business of
Jumping
doing.
up and down, screaming about it, and absolutely.
Right.
And
so,
cool.
So,
Rex?
I mean, I had so many questions I really keep myself contained here, but 2 points I want to make. One, do you think we're trying to do a one-size-fits-all? I mean, I'm an older guy. I look around here, many of us are older. Not everyone, obviously, but we're not sitting here with 14 and 16 and 19-year-olds so much. That my daughter, who's 13, is watching YouTube videos and has got all the, you know, the incredible YouTube marketing girls and guys that are doing the snippets and the short stuff. But as an older guy, I'm tending to watch more television now because I see more older actors. They're bringing that back. They're appealing to older people because the youth market tends to be out with the tentpole movies, and I don't care about the CGI, and I don't care about that. So are we missing a great opportunity to market to the people who at one time, up until our economic collapse, had more disposable income than youth? I mean, and more free time to watch TV and more, you know, are we...
But that's the challenge of the, you know, the splintering audience. That, you know, it was, you know, around the same time, you know, 2009, that 87 film critics lost their jobs from papers in America, you know, and that was the prime voice, you know, particularly on a local basis of how people selected their movies. And it was for an older audience. And part of the challenge that comes now is, you know, the few places that bring us all together, you know, are very much in demand. So if you want to advertise on those outlets, the price keeps going up and up. And so that the audience doesn't support the spend, you know, but they need that outlet. So how do we start doing things? It's embracing the fact that if you love something, you have to fight for the culture you care about, and you have to put it out, as you know quite well, and do that. You know.
But it's a lot of work to, like, it's also expecting the audience to then do work which they're not used to, in addition to expecting
So you have to reward
filmmakers.
them.
Well, we used to look at the TV guide. I mean, we used to have to look for things in order to be entertained. We had to go to the newspaper and find out what was playing. I mean, nowadays, isn't it just...
But there are.
I mean, that's one of the things about...
Well, this is, you know, to me, that's like why you need the new app, which is, you know, when you in a entertainment economy built on scarcity and control, we rely on impulse buys. That's the thing that really drives most of it. In a world of superabundance and access, it moves to a choice economy. How do we start dealing with choice? People fear choice. People think that choice and what freedom is options, where it's not that. It's making choices, accepting that responsibility. So you have to say, this is what I care about, and these are the behaviors that come from that caring. But that's a really hard thing to, you know, engineer and to move. But that is where we're going.